Are you looking to play your wildcard in Game Week 7? This video has got you covered. Now we're going to start off then with the two goalkeepers that I've picked for this team. I've gone for a double up of Areola and Martinez of Aston Villa. Now Areola can easily play versus Sheffield United in Game Week 7, and then Martinez can come in from Game Week 8 onwards. The fixture run that Aston Villa have from Game Week 8 onwards I think is exceptional, to be honest. And Martinez, whilst Villa are not the best defensively, I'd say they're just middle of the road. They obviously kept a clean sheet though away at Chelsea just gone. He also is a keeper that's known to make a good number of saves. Remember his first season in the Premier League playing for Aston Villa, he was the top scoring goalkeeper in FPL, and I think with the game weeks he's got coming up, he's a fantastic option. So pick them both. Start with Areola in 7 when Martinez has Brighton as his fixture. Areola's obviously got Sheffield United. And then move Areola out for Martinez in Game Week 8 and continue playing with Martinez. Defensively, this team kind of almost picks itself, really, I think, for the double game week in 7. I've gone for Estupinian, Botman and Kabore of Luton. We obviously know the attacking upside that Estupinian has. Bit of a shame, of course, that Brighton are yet to keep a clean sheet in the Premier League. Botman obviously playing for a Newcastle team that look to have solidified things again defensively. And of course, he's hot off a goal against Sheffield United. I actually benched him in Game Week 6, so I'm a little bit disappointed not to get his points. But yeah, Burnley is his next fixture. They don't look all that great at defending set pieces either. Obviously scored from a set piece against Sheffield United. Got high hopes for him against Burnley. And then Kabore, I just think he's a decent option with 2 fixtures in the bag, basically. I'm not sure exactly how many goals Luton are going to concede in Game Week 7, but I don't think it's going to be loads. They've got Everton and Burnley as their 2 fixtures. I'm not saying they keep a clean sheet, but I think they've got a reasonable chance of keeping 1. And for that reason, I think he's probably worth starting with in Game Week 7. First couple of midfielders then are Diaby of Aston Villa and Mo Salah. I'll talk about Diaby in a bit more detail next. As for Mo Salah, just consistent returns across the season. And I think you know what you're getting with the 12.5 million. As we go into a bit of fixture congestion, Champions League last midweek, Premier League this weekend, Cup games midweek, and then Premier League again next weekend, there is a chance that Haaland will play reduced minutes or get rested. So Salah is always there as a backup if you want a decent captaincy option as backup. And obviously we all know what Salah brings to the table in terms of returns anyway. To be honest, even if you don't captain him at this stage, I think 12.5 million is a fair price just for the consistency of returns that you're getting. As for Moussa Diaby then, I really think he's the real deal for Aston Villa. We've seen in pretty much every fixture he's played this season. I'll pick this one just as an example. He's basically playing up front alongside Ollie Watkins. You can see there, number 19 with the yellow arrow. I've talked about it before when going through Martinez, but Villa go on a fantastic fixture run from Game Week 8. I know the likes of Mitoma and Mbeumo have scored well at this price point, but I just think with the fixtures he's got, he's a fantastic option going forward. He looks dangerous in every game I've seen him play for Villa against pretty much every opponent. He's returned in, well, 3 of the 6 now Premier League games that he's played, including, of course, a goal against Newcastle at St James's Park. So he's proven, even against the tougher opposition, he can do well. The underlying numbers, they're not fantastic. Obviously, he has had some difficult fixtures of recent. That obviously change is from Game Week 8 onwards. And I think Brighton at home in Game Week 7, obviously Brighton have not kept a clean sheet yet this entire season. So I do think he can do well in that fixture as well. And then the fixture run beyond that is impeccable. So Diaby is a fantastic option. The rest of the midfield kind of picks itself, really. Saka and Mbeumo and Maddison. I think these are 3 of the best midfielders you can go for in FPL at the moment. Saka, consistent returns across the season against pretty much any opposition. Obviously takes the penalties for Arsenal, so he's always got that in his locker. Probably their best player. Unfortunately, he did hobble off the Spurs game with what looked like a bit of a knock. So remains to be seen if he's fit for Game Week 7. We'll obviously have to keep an eye on the press conferences for that one. But there's the likes of Bruno Fernandes at this price tag too if Saka isn't declared fit. And Mbeumo well and truly replacing Tony as the talisman for Brentford on the penalties and looking decent from open play. Unfortunately, didn't get a return in Game Week 6, but that doesn't put me off him for Game Week 7 onwards. He's got Nottingham Forest up next. They don't look all that great defensively, so I think he can get back amongst the goals in that one. Maddison looks central to absolutely everything Spurs do going forward. 2 assists for Son in the North London derby. Liverpool up next, whilst on paper is a tough fixture, they don't look that great defensively. So I do think Spurs can score against them, and I do think Maddison will be involved in that. And after that, they've got Luton and Fulham, obviously two great fixtures where he's got a good chance of scoring some points. My two strikers then, I've obviously gone for Erling Haaland, don't need to talk about him too much, and then Carlton Morris. What I've done with this team is I've left a bit of cash in the bank in order to upgrade Carlton Morris for Taiwo Awoniyi. I think going forwards, Awoniyi is the better long-term striker, so I've left enough cash in the bank basically to go to him. But Morris, I think in Game Week 7, he's too good to say no to. I'm not expecting him to pull up any trees. He's had decent numbers so far this season, as you can see here. 0.61 expected returns per 90. The fixture's coming up, obviously the Spurs game, but it's at home. Kenilworth Road could be a bit of a factor for Luton, and he does seem to be, causing problems to every defence I've seen him play against. He's a big man and he's good in the air, and that causes any centre-backs problems, right? But with Game Week 7 in mind, he's on the penalties, guaranteed to start for Luton. There's always a chance he can score in any game from a penalty, and of course from open play. Everton, Burnley, two of the best fixtures you can ask for. I don't see why you don't go for him if you're on a wild card. Alright, and this is the team as a whole. I've got Cash, Archer and Udogie on my bench. These guys can obviously come in when the fixtures turn for other teams. So basically they can come in for Estupinian and Kabore in Game Week 7. Archer on the bench, the best of the 4.5 million strikers in my opinion. Basically playing every game for Sheffield United. And I've got 2 million in the bank. If you fancy anyone else for 7.5 and below, you could actually let me know in the comments as a Morris replacement. Me personally though, I think Awoniyi is the man. You could of course afford Alvarez with this team as well if you fancy doing that. But yeah, this is my Game Week 7 wildcard team. And that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, and please let me know your thoughts on this wildcard team in the comments. I'm not going to be offended if you disagree with some of the picks I've made. Ultimately, FPL is all about people with different opinions. So if you've got a different one to me, let me know in the comments. And yeah, please subscribe to the Golden Goal channel, which should be just there. And I'll catch you in the next video.